Okay,
Got it.
we got it. We got it.
Huzzah!
Okay, can everyone see me? I mean, sorry, hear, actually. You shouldn't be able to see me yet. Can everyone hear me and see my chart? And my little Darwin X, I'm in some drawdown
I
I was going to talk
can
about.
indeed
Okay, perfect.
hear and see that, so we're all good there.
All right, perfect. And I'm going to open up general in the Discord also because I know we have a member that likes to post in there. Okay, got all that going. All right. Let me see. Oh, you guys probably can't see that other stuff yet because we're on the standby screen. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get started here in a minute. Sorry that we're late. Just some tech issues getting live. Let's see. I think we could probably start. Hello,
Wonderful.
Mrs.
G'day, Pat.
Pat. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and do the standard
G'day, Tad.
disclaimers. First of all, guys, everything talked about in this is for education and entertainment purposes only. None of this is financial advice or any kind of trade signal of any kind. Always do your own due diligence because trading is a high risk activity. You can and will incur losses. So use proper risk management and only take risks on capital with systems you've tested yourself. That said, thank you guys for coming and I hope everyone's doing well. I've been a little bit more aggressive lately trading. I'm going to go ahead and pull up our uh, screens. I just traded more often than I was at the end of the year. Not super aggressive, but I'm taking some heavy losses. Uh, so I have my history pulled up, and I have a few. This sell idea right here. I'm gonna talk through that one actually. Uh, Let me go ahead and throw this down now that I have it already up there for you guys. I just like to be really transparent about my trading with y'all so that you know what is going on. All right, I'm just moving that out of the way so that we can take a look at the chart. I just want to talk about this first while it's fresh on my mind because also we're going into mindset today. So it'd be cool to talk about a little bit of trade frustration. But you guys know that have been watching this. I'm doing this breakout trade and then I look for the same kind of liquidity I normally do. Well, I get alerts when the breakouts happen. When I get an alert, I also sometimes will analyze the market and kind of decide what's going on. So let me go ahead and move this bar back to where the breakout happened and I got that alert. Okay. In this area, if you look, now I should have really thought about where we were in the overall 4 hour. I thought the 4 hour was too big of a range really for me to be messing with on the 5 minute. Just looking at a breakout. Anyway, this is quite bullish, but I was married to the idea of it coming up and taking this liquidity and then continuing the trend, okay? Filling the sell orders, and it was in that zone. To do that, um, when that happened on the 15-minute, we have this strong liquidity build up right here. It took all that out and started coming down. That was my signal that we were going to come down and wipe all this liquidity out. That was in my head, that was a signal. And now, eventually that happened, but I went ahead and took a couple sell orders on these liquidity areas. So boom, boom, boom. I had one sell order in, I believe in this zone, right, was one of them. And took that sell order and got wiped out. And then when we took all of this liquidity here, we had another flip. Oh yeah, at this point, actually, my bad. Took this liquidity here. The market flipped and closed right above the last little liquidity point there. I was a little aggressive on that because really the move started from right there. It wasn't really. Again, I was married to the idea. So this was kind of a bad trade, if we're real honest about it, because this was really the move. But
Yeah.
I went ahead and
We
took
were
the closing.
discussing it offline as well, and obviously the whole it gone through the other side as well. It's
Yeah.
a false day.
Yep.
So at that
Yeah.
point, it should be like alarm bells right there. But
Yeah. Like I said, I was very married to the idea. And then because I wouldn't let it go, I went ahead and took a sell entry at this range after it came and flipped here, right? We finally did get, well, on my broker actually did close below this, but it did come and fill this and go lower, but it was just picking up the liquidity down here to eventually take me out. And because I was targeting all of this liquidity here, and when I set my trades, I just set them. I don't in fact, if I do go and watch them, I will often scare myself out of the market. So I try not to watch them at all. Um, and then this was my last loss. Oh no, it came to, let me see, where did I enter? Because I got a loss on this one. So even though it did finally, I wasn't in the market when the move actually happened. I entered, oh, I think I went ahead and entered on the return of this move right here and got taken out when it came up here. And then the real trade idea finally played out and went to this liquidity. But the thing I was doing is not looking at the totality of the market. What I should have really looked for, especially this one right here. This was the worst of them. The rest of them kind of are valid-ish, ignoring the fact that it's a false day, but this was a really bad trade. Even with me, like the way I teach it is very sloppy. There was a liquidation right here in this zone. As a matter of fact, it happened right there. So really, this should have been the zone I was looking for, but that doesn't even matter. If I'm going off of this, the last little point where it liquidated, even that, it's this whole move right here. This is all one move. Yeah, it does go in a little wave, but I feel like if you're looking at liquidity the way I do, you can tell that this is one little like leg of the market. And I took the closure right there instead of it should have been a closure right there showing me that it flipped this area. And that was a very messy, sloppy. So out of all the trades, this one was completely invalid. I shouldn't have taken this one at all. So I deserved that loss very much. But the rest of them were valid with my concepts, but I was using this. I should have went ahead and after I took the first loss and the market did do the breakout, like Lemon said, it was a false day. I should have stayed out of the market. So that was brought me into some heavy drawdown. And look, nice tease at the end there to really sell it home that I should have been leaving the market alone. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, that's okay. It happens. Like I'm not blowing up my account. You guys can see that the relative risk on my account is extremely small. Anytime I deploy a new system live, and this breakout system is new live, I risk very small capital. So yeah. If anyone
um,
has any
might want
questions or
to
comments,
have a look at GU this morning. I would say before anyone has any comments or questions on your trading.
alrighty.
Uh,
Oh, nice.
Had a nice rejection off
So
the
this is a nice, perfect little setup right here. Look, we have
G'day,
it
Maxi.
teasing us right there. We finally get the breakout in this area. It leaves all this liquidity in this zone right here where the breakout happens. Comes down and takes that liquidity. You can literally have every single one of these alerted if you want. And it takes liquidity. And the moment that it takes it, where's the lowest point of liquidity? Right here. That's the wick that caused it. It closes above it right in this candle. So we have the zone that caused it right here. And also the first little flip zone right in this area. So you have the entry on the flip zone or the entry on this. Um, it doesn't really come back and touch that. It gets real close in this area, but it doesn't really come back and touch exactly there. But two potential moves right there, and then you have the takeoff. So that's a nice, that's actually a really beautiful move for Forex, um, honestly.
Yeah, GU. The more I look at it, the more I really like GU when it comes to sort of taking that Asia
Hmm.
um, range.
That makes
It
sense,
does
yes.
seem to, yeah,
I think
does
uh,
like it quite a lot.
I think it's really good. The Asian breakout is honestly really good for anything in the USD or JPY category because UJ is heavily traded in that session for, borrowing purposes. So I think
Mm.
I could see why that plays out really nice on GU. I would say for January at least, this January, the Nasdaq has been really messy, and I've been neglecting the Nikkei, so I'm not sure about it. I've been really watching
Yeah,
the
I haven't
Nikkei.
really looked at the Nikkei. Do you want to do you want to pop that
Yeah,
up, see how we're getting
let's
on
do
there?
that. Yeah,
And by the way, guys, if you guys have any charts that you want us to look at as well,
let's go
feel
back a
free
couple.
to pop them in chat.
Let's just go back to like beginning of week or something like that. Okay, so day
And good day,
one,
Jose, or Jose, depending on where you're from. And
we got a breakout. We have liquidity
Lemons, your
resting in this
keyword trader.
range.
Oh, good day,
It
Tads.
takes takes quite some time, but it eventually comes out and liquidates it. Now, this is messy because you don't really have the point of liquidation is way up there, probably some kind of news or something, or economic event maybe that caused this, or maybe it's just all of that. Uh, you could zone on a lower time frame, so let's do that. Let's do this. Show a little bit of advance for here for the starting for the first day, but it's okay. We gotta cover some advanced stuff sometimes, I feel like. So you just find the lowest point of liquidity. I'm very particular, so I literally try to find the lowest one and like magnet to uh, the wick. But you do it however you want to do it, however you're comfortable. And the idea, oh, geez, Louise. Well, I
You
mean,
got there.
this one's very messy. You do have kind of this some form of price action that you can maybe identify the liquidation. eh, and I don't know, it's very aggressive. I'd just be very careful. I'd look for any kind of bullish move after. Obviously, the risk entry is always on the table. I just don't really do risk entries that much. Um, but once you know that it's bullish, some kind of like bullish momentum or something like that, and you can look for a zone. Like here's a kind of like a flip zone, like or something like that. It's really hard with a
Yeah.
thing like this. You can ignore it if
That
you
sort of
want.
price action, I really just
You
I feel like I need more
yeah, you can
information.
it's
Anytime something happens like that.
it's totally fair to ignore. For those risk entry traders, you can literally use this. But when you're doing a risk entry, you want to have a logical stop loss, which means you want to use the next low for the orders that are going to absorb it, which oftentimes not all the time, but oftentimes will give you a much larger stop than you would if you get a confirmation entry. But sometimes the risk entry is way better. Sometimes. But again, it's a risk entry. It's riskier. So you could do something like that. But anyway, this would be fair to ignore though because of the nature of that. Um, so let's go ahead and no, I'm going to turn off the replay actually. Let's just look at the days kind of fast as we're that was a Monday. Oh yeah, it's right here. Okay. Then the next one was over here. We have our breakout, right? And we have resting liquidity under here, but not any strong liquidity yet. So the zone of liquidity is here, but it does eventually turn that into strong liquidity at this point. So now we have new, this was our strong liquidity before. It didn't liquidate that yet, but it made new strong liquidity. So a liquidation of that, right? And then the flip of that would be right there. It closes above that. So this zone is more likely to hold, right? And boom, boom, you have your move. Then the next day, we have a sell breakout here. We have liquidity resting right there. Or wait, nope, we have liquidity resting right here, actually. It eventually liquidates that and all of this stuff near it. Um, there's the flip of it. It flips there, so the zone that does it is likely to hold. That one plays out. Geez, I should have been trading the
Yeah.
Nikkei. Holy moly.
Yeah.
Uh,
So it looks pretty good, doesn't it?
yeah, we
Apart
have
from that day.
this. Yeah, we got this breakout here, strong liquidity. We have all this resting liquidity. So each of these strong wicks is valid. Just find like, the last point of liquidation that happens right there, right? So the flip of it would be probably right there. You get the close above that. The zone that causes that comes up, and then we get takeoff. I mean, this one, oh no, that one actually doesn't take off anywhere. It takes off a little bit and then comes back. So maybe you have one loss or a break even depending on how aggressive you are, but that's probably a loss for me. So loss, two wins, and then this is what yesterday's. There's no, there's nothing. It just takes off.
It's a
I mean that,
mistrade. Yeah, it's
yeah,
just a nothing. Yeah.
it just happens. And then, oh no, this is yesterday. We have the breakout. any resting liquidity. I'd say this is the next point of that, so that doesn't happen. Creates new strong
Yeah, you
liquidity
miss
right
all of that.
here, and nothing. So non-trade day. So one loss, two wins, and a couple non-trade days. That's not bad, honestly. Um,
Until you're looking all right as well. We've got a request for gold, GJ and UC
so
on the
gold,
hour.
are we doing it the same way, like this, the Asian breakout, or
I wouldn't. No, no,
I'm not, I don't,
I
I
haven't
don't.
found that gold is very good on this
Okay, so
particular
I'm gonna go ahead
strategy.
and I don't, yeah, I wouldn't trade gold with the daily breakout, but I'm gonna look at gold macro. Oh, also, okay, it's way late now, so I can go ahead and say this out loud. But when we had this liquidation, probably about right here actually, I was telling people that if they're bullish on gold, like in my actual real personal group, again, just like with the crypto thing, I was like, now's your time to get in some long contracts and like dollar cost average in or whatever. But no one listens to me. And now we're coming up, and I mean, I don't know if we're gonna take the high again, but like things aren't that different economically, so I do think there's a chance we can come test it or come near it or whatever or liquidate this.
I
Yeah, oh, also I do want to say this real quick. Not to say that I can ever predict the future or anything like that, or that we know. It's just logical analysis. When me and Lemons were on, maybe like I don't know, was this a month or two ago? We said
It was
5,500
before
looks like
Christmas.
okay before Christmas. Okay, 5,500 looks like a very logical range for the market to go. Look, it barely dipped above 5,500 before that liquidation happened. So I mean, I'm not
You
saying that
so
I
smart.
called. I'm not saying that I called it, but this is why price action
I'm
is
not
very
gonna.
powerful.
I'm not gonna say that it went exactly to 5,500 and in reverse, but
Yeah, look, and you guys can go back and watch
yeah,
it, like you said, before Christmas. And we were just using price
I think it
action.
was before Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm guessing, but
But anyway, we have this strong liquidation here. So right now on gold, look, it liquidates all this. So when people see this, it's a scary move. And yes, that's the start of a downtrend because that's how downtrend starts, liquidation. But, and I'm not saying that it's not the start of a downtrend necessarily, but look, it comes down, and what is it doing? When you see the market liquidate like this, somebody had to buy gold down here, all down here. Somebody had to buy it, accumulate it, enough to keep moving the market up. Your money and my money is not moving this market up. It's real money moving giant amounts of either spot gold contracts or huge position sizes from firms and people hedging economically and stuff like that. Also, governments and stuff invest in gold because it's a finite resource. So there's lots of
yeah,
economic reasons why gold gets bought at these levels, right? And so while you and your friends are all, sitting around and everyone's talking about buying gold at work or whatever, and like, oh, look, gold bar is so much. Now I'm gonna go buy a gold bar or something like that because it's worth so much now. Somebody is selling to all of these people, right? The people that bought down here. Eventually, that's gonna cause a chain reaction, and that just happened. You're going to
yeah,
see a liquidation of some accounts, right? Because people that have either over leveraged or risk a high amount at the end of a bullish cycle, and that will cause sells, right? Because that those people will exit or get liquidated, meaning they have to sell, which will cause a chain reaction, and all this liquidity gets taken. Now, look what it did. It reversed
yeah,
all the way back down to the start. So this is the first wave, and then it came down here, and it came all the way to the start of that wave, absorbing all of this liquidity, and we can literally do this. You can throw a fib up from the bottom of that move, or even from the trend move itself and look at both of them. So this one, right, it came all the way down and just liquidated the 618 level. And for this
yeah,
one, it came all the way down and liquidated the, what is that, the 8 something, 8 9 something, whatever, the 82% or something, whatever it is in this range. Like the deepest retracement before a trend is supposedly going to break or whatever. It came and liquidated all that, right? Even in this leg, it's still within the trend range. So, and again, I'm not calling necessarily that it's going to come up and take out the high, although I, from a technical analysis standpoint, believe that that's where it should head from here. But I mean, not directly up that fast. Maybe it might get caught up at each of these supply zones. But it's just the way price action kind of works. When a liquidation happens, then all the people that are stopping the market here and buying, that's big money. It's not the people that were afraid that got liquidated or that were euphoric and buying up here. It is the quote unquote smart money, the people that are patient and waiting for a liquidation and putting enough money in to hold the uptrend, right? So that's what's going on, in my opinion, like right now, including macro. But just from a price action perspective, let's go back and let's take a look at before this happened. Oops. Why is it? I don't like that. I don't like the new relaying. Let's go from a first, like a breakout of this area, just to get some
I
price
had my
action moving.
first loss on gold this year, last week.
Oh, because of the drop that was going.
No, not the drop. Uh, so essentially, the week before I showed you the win that I got. I took pretty much exactly the same trade at the start of the next
Oh,
week,
got you, got you. It just didn't
and
play out.
it just didn't play out.
Yeah,
But only by the tiniest amount. I got wicked out, and then it went to where I thought it would go.
yeah,
But it's the way it is.
yeah. That makes sense. Oops, going too fast. Okay, so when something like this happens on the 4-hour chart, right, it comes down, it's filling some area of liquidity for smart money traders. This is imbalance for um, what is it? ICT traders. This is like a, well, I don't know if I'm supposed to, I think they're trademark terms, but this is a thing in ICT as well. And in uh, classic terminologies, this is support or resistance turn support, right? It's like a bunch of concepts, and it's really just the idea that this area is where extreme value of the market was. Now it's coming to that area. It's also filling this thing. So, and what's the most important thing for the way I teach in the market? It's a liquidation. It's liquidating all of this stuff right here. So that's where you go into your entry time frame, right? You have a liquidation, and I just like to look for the point of liquidation to get taken out. Now that's way up here in this case, but that's okay. Like it does close above that, so the area that caused that move is likely to hold, or a new demand zone might get created, right? And this is a demand zone right here.
Yeah, a breaker, Maxi is what he's. I think
Yeah,
you're
I just
getting
don't know
at.
if I'm allowed to say it, so I didn't know. I don't know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I don't know the rules on that.
Well, Maxi said it. It's not our fault.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
repeating
you
what
were
he said.
reading it. Yeah.
It's all Maxi's fault.
Um, so we have a liquidation here into some demand, and then a flip of that. So there's a zone that you can take a trade off of. Now let's keep going on the 4-hour.
Can't just
Just
just FYI, you can't trademark the word breaker. That's. I mean, I understand some of the other words that we can't use, but breaker is a very fairly common word.
okay, fair enough.
You can't
Fair enough.
trademark that.
Yeah, fair enough. Oops, let me go back farther. Just kind of showing how I look at gold, because I look at gold. Gold is a very 4-hour asset for me. I don't like to get on the two. I mean, 15-minute my entry time frame, but I won't. You'll see me get down to like the 1 minute on Forex when I'm really talking about liquidity. I don't do that on gold. It's very short-term volatile and messy, and also stalls in place
Oh,
for a
for
long
sure.
time. So I'm a 4-hour. I look at it on the 4 hour. So anyway, we come back to this. These are all demand zones. All of this. It comes back to one. So exact same concept. I'm just looking for some strong liquidity to get taken out. Um, do we have any strong liquidity taken? No, weak liquidity. It's okay. You don't always get sometimes the market just moves on without you.
Yeah.
Well, no, yeah, that's just too weak. The market actually breaks above here. From a classic price action perspective, you can use the same concepts and go, okay, price action is switching positions, right? And then look for your entries on that concept, right? Because we had a break here. There's a zone that caused it. I just personally won't enter the market without the liquidity sweep. Now, that means I miss a ton of moves, literally more moves than I don't.
Yeah.
But I also
I think it
avoid
eventually does come back to it, but
I
yeah, you're
I
right.
I just avoid all of the times that you're gonna get tricked, which is gonna happen way more often than that.
Yeah.
But okay, anyway, it doesn't matter because we have a strong liquidity sweep here, right? And it closes above that here, and the zone that caused that held, and it held at least to the high. So there was already a trade idea there. And then let's go back to the 4 hour. Boom, boom. Okay, that was that trade idea. And that's pretty much how I look at it. Okay, so
That
now let's
was
look at where the drop
right
happened.
there. That
Okay.
was the trade that I got in. The very start of the week, just taking the breakout.
Oh, got you. Yeah. Oh, and then it
So the previous week it worked perfectly, and then last week I just had my stop loss hugged too tightly,
that makes
um, which is fine.
yeah. I mean that happens. Oh, so here's the cool part about waiting for confirmation entries, by the way, guys. So here I'm waiting for strong liquidity to get taken out, right? Which is resting right here. or right here because we have this like double bottom type thing, which is strong liquidity for me. Um, and it liquidates all of it, and you don't get in. You just watch it happen because you're waiting for strong liquidity to get swept. As a matter of fact, a ton of strong liquidity got swept. This is a pretty bearish move though, so I'd be looking for the market to go bearish at this point. We come up to the supply that caused it. Is there any liquidity resting? This is becoming liquidity resting below it, actually. Let's see. Market flips here. So I'll just be looking for sell side liquidity at this point, which happens right here. And the liquidity that caused it's right there. So the zone that caused that flip is right there. The market comes back up, and let's see if it keeps going down. It does. So you got an entry right there and a win right there, so on and so forth. And that's how I look at the market. In that, by the way, by doing that, by waiting for that confirmation entry, you get some pretty good results, avoiding being in a trade while it's coming down. And then, as a matter of fact, once you realize it's bearish, you have a couple opportunities to get bearish, right? So that's how I look at
Yeah.
it. So there's gold. Any other questions? Holy crud, it's been 30 minutes or 25 minutes.
Uh, GJ,
Oh yeah,
not
GJ.
sure what time limit. UC on the 1 hour. GJ is the one I just never look at. It's just I got scared off GJ from very early days and never went back to it.
I'm just gonna show the same type of price action over the last like from here on real quick so that you guys can see that I literally look at every market the same. Not to I don't want to skimp anyone that wanted this GJ, but we have other things to talk about, and I want to make sure that you are just really understanding the concept because to me that's more important, right? Um, okay, so
Tad's asked, "Are you trading Nikkei during the Asian session?"
yes,
Yes.
yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Or sometimes into Frankfurt or opening London. I That's pretty late for me now. I've actually, which is kind of why this has been a messy month. It's the beginning of the year and I'm trading Asian session during like messy economic
Yeah.
times. It's not pretty,
Yeah.
but um yeah, I'm usually out of the market by the time London or maybe an hour into London or whatever. I'm completely done looking at the market for the night. I've been trading a lot earlier lately. Okay, so we have liquidity taken out on the 4 hour, as a matter of fact. So 4 hour liquidity is taken. So I don't know if you guys know my rule. For anyone that's new, my rule when you get 4 hour liquidity taken is the zone that caused that liquidity has to get closed above. So let's go ahead and mark that. Or strong liquidity has to be formed and taken on the lower time frame. Either one can come first for me. Okay. Now, when I say closed above that line, it means the 4 hour chart has to close above that, not the 15 minute. The first 15-minute candle that closes above that could be just a liquidity sweep on the 4 hour, okay? Or, like I said, strong liquidity. Now we have strong liquidity. Strong liquidity gets created for me when the high gets broken at all. It doesn't have to get closed above. That means that this point was able to liquidate that, right? So that creates strong liquidity. It can sweep it. Closures are important for the flip, right? The conviction. This doesn't have to be convicted because it's going to eventually sweep what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a sweep, right? Now, this is not strong liquidity, even though it's sweeping that right there, and I'm probably going to look like a dummy as I'm explaining this, but I don't care. I'm very strict about this. This is not strong liquidity. Why? Because it didn't close above that. This counts because it's a move that tapped above that. If it did close above this, it would make this the strong liquidity, or this, right? Which would make this maybe sweep valid, but this sweep is not valid because that liquidity is not strong enough for me here. I know that's complex because you're like, well, why is that one? But it's an extreme, so it's already liquidity and it tagged above the high, making it strong liquidity. This did
Yep.
tag above the high, but it didn't close above it, and since it's just part of this leg, it needs to close above it to lock it into being strong. I hope that makes sense to everyone. Now this is strong liquidity though. I don't think it takes it. Nope, that's okay. That happens. You don't get anything on this one, but you guys see the concepts I'm looking at, right? Sweep of liquidity, flip the zone that caused that sweep held. Now, I did not describe that as valid liquidity. Maybe on a different chart it might be, but same concept on every time frame. Also, let's see if it closed above the 4 hour. Oops. It also closed above on the 4 hour right there. So now we have like confirmed flip. So bullish trade ideas are more valid to me. So same exact concept, from now on for bullish moves until the next phase of the 4 hour. Oh, are we? What the heck? Did it just skip ahead? Darn
Yeah,
it.
I'm not sure what you did there.
I have no idea what I just did, but
You
uh,
were on the 9th or the 10th of January.
all right. Sorry, guys. I don't know why the heck that happened.
January.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, maybe you weren't.
That's all right. Okay. It, oh, it was around this gap, wasn't it? Let's go back to it. No, but that's okay. You know what? It doesn't matter. The concept's always going to be the same, so we can just what let me see. Okay, 4 hours coming down. It's come down too near this zone. You don't know when it's going to flip. You can let's see. You can have your zones marked or whatever, or you could wait for it to flip. It's flipped at this point, so now we can go bullish. Same exact concept, right? Now that we're going bullish, we can look for any liquidity to be taken out on the 15-minute and to like use that liquidity to go bullish basically. All right, so now we have a liquidity sweep. Let's see if it flips or if it just continues. So here's the last point of liquidity. And the point of liquidation, I would argue, is this. Did it close above
Hmm?
it? Arguable that closed above it. For really aggressive traders, you could say this, but the reason why, so what's the lowest point actually? Or actually, I guess, nope. This is the lowest point of liquidity right here, which means where did it tag under that? I guess this is the actual point of liquidation. It closed above there. So this zone is more likely to hold. It actually sweeps that, but it sweeps just deep into this. So if you don't have a nice wide stop loss and you're a very aggressive trader, which I like to widen my stop loss if I'm going for far distance, so it doesn't matter because then you get that closure above here. It comes back into this zone that caused that. So you get another entry idea. And then the idea is that this zone is more likely to hold than this zone. So it should ideally go and sweep all of this liquidity up here.
Catchy Tune asks, Jezza, you are quite aware of liquidity. Is that from a particular trading system?
It's a combination of a couple, yes. There is a long time ago, Christie had a strategy called Superstar, and it lined up two time frames with the way that it read the market's waves. That made me fall in love with the way I combined two time frames. And then another community, I'll be honest, not the trade floor, it's called Photon Trading, taught me a lot about the market's waves and the way it moved. And I combined that with the superstar system, not like fuse them together. I learned all of these important things, and then a lot of Alex and looking at the way he does his SMC style. He does like breakouts and liquidity sweeps and stuff. And the way he looked at liquidity and the stuff that I've already learned came all together and kind of combined in my brain and turned into. And then I simplified it to be like one simple system, and that is what stuck in my head. So it's
Yeah.
mainly those 3 to 4 sources were
I
the
think to
main.
piggyback on that as well, like you've learned, like there are lots of different types of liquidity in the
Hmm.
market,
Yeah.
and you have learned things that you best like that resonate with you
Yeah,
on
resonate with me.
liquidity.
Yeah, it makes sense the
Whereas
most to
I
me.
I like things like fib liquidity and I like session liquidity,
Yeah, and you will.
and that's
I was say you'll hear me when we're talking go like, oh, this imbalance is holding liquidity, or this gap is holding liquidity, because even though I don't use them in my trading, I do recognize the strong areas of liquidity in the market that other traders can see and use and stuff. It's just you don't also want to do everything, guys. So the reason why
yeah
I can sit and talk with the stuff about this stuff with lemons and be like, oh yeah, I understand that concept, but I don't throw it in my trading is because you don't want to throw everything in your trading. Find what resonates with you and
yeah.
stick to it consistently, and the markets will pay you automatically. Um, So strong liquidity sweep here comes into this zone. So risk entry, people can enter anywhere in here, or confirmation, you're looking for the flip. Okay, we have let me see, last point of liquidation was right here. Lowest point was right here, balancing this like double bottom type thing. And the point of liquidation is actually this wick right here. It liquidated from this area. So I want to see that
Yep.
closed above there. So the zone that caused that closure is more likely to hold than the high. It doesn't really, does it come back and visit after the closure closes? Above right. Oh, right in there. Yep. The zone that caused it is actually right there. So it does, in fact, come and visit the tiny little zone. So when I have a tiny zone like this, I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not this aggressive a trader. Yes, you will see lots of times that you could have gladly taken a trade that's this tight or whatever, and it feels nice and good, and you can throw it in your trading system and do it. But I like to be comfortable, and if I see like obvious areas and my trade idea is this zone, maybe not the extreme, but at least I would take the whole zone. So I will have a nice healthy stop loss size. I don't get super aggressive. And I do it discretionarily if I'm honest with you guys. I don't go, okay, that's like it's this much distance or whatever. I'll be like, okay, that's way too tight. What if it liquidates this right here and then comes back up? I do it on discretion, but it does protect me from some fake outs. I'm just letting you guys know you can be more aggressive than me if you're willing to stomach a lot of those times that it tags you out and you know moves on without you. It's up to you. I don't like to stomach that stuff. Okay, anyway, I think I've beaten this dead horse pretty good. You guys get the idea that I do. Okay, so we have more liquidation right here. Area of liquidation. Ooh, it just barely closed above that. Looks good. So this area is more likely to hold in this area, but it's getting weak. We'll see. Oh, it does. It does. So, this stuff happens over and over and over and over. Same thing. Um, yeah. Okay. So, what was the other market? We're missing one.
UC.
Okay.
And Pat's also asked on thoughts on EU for intraday, if you don't mind. Current thoughts.
On sorry, current thoughts on what?
So do UC first on the
Okay.
1 hour.
All right, let's do that. Oh, you see on the 1 hour. Okay. All right. So, okay, if I'm going to do the 1 hour, still I want to anchor it to a higher time frame. Let's look at what's going on. The market is coming down into a pullback phase. It looks like it's coming down for liquidity. It's kind of picked up a good amount of liquidity right here. So this is an area where I think it's likely to sweep some kind of liquidity and then go bullish. So that's just the type of stuff it does in these zones. Not that it guarantee to, but so let's look for that. So we have strong liquidity right here formed because we talked about this earlier. So even though it just wicked above this, right? It's the extreme right now that wicked above that. So that's strong liquidity. Now, if it closed above that, you could even argue that this and this are strong liquidity technically if it had closed above it. But because it didn't, you don't even get to argue that. This is strong liquidity right here. It sweeps this strong liquidity and it flipped and closed above it. So this zone is more likely, according to my testing, the way I look at the markets, than the zone up here or the zone up here is, right? Technically. So I'm just going to play from here and see. Nope, and it immediately sweeps that, and that's okay. Let's look. Let's come down deep into this zone. Also, let me see, while it's coming down, was there any opportunity for a bearish take? Let's see. Boom, boom. It switched to bearish structure at this point, actually. We have a closure. Oh, no, it never closes above this wick. I mean, below this wick until right here. So at this point, right, I'm very careful about going bearish. Like when I'm
Um,
taking, huh?
the person who suggested this asked if you can go from February
Okay.
so I can compare.
Yep, yep, yep. Let's do that.
Which I guess February of this year, catchy tune, or February of last year. I assume February of last year, but because we've only had a couple of days of February this year.
Well, they're on the hourly, so I think he just wants to see. I'm assuming my interpretation is he wants to see the last few days to see how
Okay.
I look at it. But correct me on that because that's a long time to go back from February and talk through it and talk through it. We're not even getting to the mindset stuff.
Absolutely.
As a matter of fact, due to our
I
time,
know.
we might have to do another session. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry that we're taking all this time up with price action, the thing that you guys definitely probably want to see, but we really have some mindset stuff
No,
to
I
talk
mean,
about.
price action is always good to go through. It's always good to kind of keep, like, the more that you kind of show this sort of stuff, I think the more people will kind of see that just the same thing happens over and over and over again.
I also think I
It
need to see this too.
doesn't need to be fancy either, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say, I need to see this too because as you saw, one of the trades I took was super the kind of trade that if a trader had posted it and said that, I'd be like, I appreciate your
So
concept,
recent
but
charts,
you
you said, by the way.
okay, recent. Okay, I'm
So
gonna go ahead and just start
last
from right
couple of
here.
days, yeah.
Okay, so the first thing I do is anchor it to a time, 4 hour. You're on the 1 hour, so you can do 4 hour daily, whatever. You just want to anchor it to a time. So it was bullish, but it came down. The internal structure is flipping, right? Because this is like the internal low, one of these two, however you want to argue. That's all kind of one leg. So that's like the internal low here, and then we have a swing low. It's liquidated the internal low and came down to the swing low. Now, when it comes and takes the swing low out, the idea is ideally it will now go for the swing high if the trend's going to continue. It came up here to the supply and now it's coming down. Yes, there's liquidity resting here, absolutely, and it can fill into that zone. So this is an area that is kind of a, I wouldn't call it a wait and see this because this is a prime buy area, but this is an area that it can become bearish, right? So it's a buy area, but you got to be careful. It can become bearish. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Um, I would argue that this is a nice short-term buy area though for now. Even if it's just tricking traders, it's a great area to trick traders for
Mm.
buys. So let's go ahead and go to the hour. So I want to see the same exact thing. I want to see strong liquidity taken. Now, we're just now for the first time on the first, yeah, right as the first is starting and the Asian session is starting, it has taken or has created a strong um, low at this point. And again, this is where you can argue that this low is even strong if it liquidates that and just fills that. That's although that's a tiny distance, especially for the beginning of the week. But either way, you have some strong liquidity down here because it's broken high. And all of this is strong liquidity at this point. As long as it keeps breaking highs, once it switches the structure, it all of this becomes strong liquidity. Oh, we're current. We're current. Okay. Well, looking at it on the 1 hour time frame, my dude, if you're a dude, um, I'm literally waiting for some strong liquidity. So ideally, at this point, this is the beginning trigger of a nice bullish move. I'm not calling it or saying that it will
Mm.
be bullish, especially because I don't trade this. But this is the beginning trigger. So ideally, what I would like to see is it to sweep something in here. Okay. So down here maybe even this, right? We're talking 4x, so it could easily come down and even tag this out a little bit. And then whatever causes it. So let me do this. Let me make a little, so whatever zone it is, let's just pretend that it just comes down and sweeps right here and stops, right? So ideally it's going to do this, it's going to fight or make some kind of price action or flip the zone area for this and then take it out, right? Wherever it's doing it, even if it's down here, same kind of thing. What you're looking for is it to close with conviction above that point, and the area that caused that, it will come back and fill. It might even be the next candle sometimes, and then the idea is it'll start targeting this supply and move up from there. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. That hasn't happened yet, right? We're just barely pulling back down. It hasn't even taken this strong liquidity. At minimum, I want to see this. Don't get overzealous. Look, I know as I'm talking about this, I know how this feels as a new trader. You're seeing it fill this demand zone. You might even go, oh, maybe I thought it was going to be bullish, and now Jeremy's confirming for me that's going to be bullish. Oh, look at that. Like look at it on the 15-minute. Look at that. Oh, it's going bullish right at all this liquidity. I hear you, and it might completely take off, but I want to see that liquidity sweep. So that's what I would wait for. Liquidity sweep, and then if the liquidity sweeps, the zone that caused it. So for example, let's pretend this is the liquidity sweep right here, right? So you look at the wick, the point that liquidated it. So find a candle that's lower than that wick, and then trace it up to the last candlestick that is not lower than this, right? So this one doesn't count, right? This one doesn't count because it's lower than this one, but this one is not lower than this. So the top of that is your last supply. It closes above it right here. So my zone that is technically protected if this was the sweep of that is this zone that caused that break. And look, the market comes and fills that zone and takes off. Now, that's not a strong liquidity sweep. That's, well, actually, that is actually strong liquidity. Look, it came and tagged out a higher high right here and made the extreme point low. That is a strong liquidity sweep. So technically, you had a first potential entry opportunity right here. I would just be very careful about that because we're talking about a daily zone. Okay, we're talking about a daily zone. So I would be a little afraid to take the wick first time it flipped on that wick. Personally, I'd be I would be just like you, or if you are waiting, I would be sitting out of the market and waiting for this liquidity sweep, assuming you're following along with me and you were following these concepts. I'd be sitting out and waiting for a
Yeah.
sweep. Okay, so got all those. Did that make sense to you? Who was that that asked that? Catchy tune. Did that make sense to you?
Finally, we've got thoughts on EU from an for an intraday uh, purpose. I'm going to also add to that and say, can you split screen it with GU and see which one you'd prefer?
Yeah.
Because I know which one I'd prefer.
All right. So intraday meaning like, well, I'm guessing like maybe like a 5 minute or something like that.
Yeah, 5 or 15, something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Um. All right. So let's do the same thing. Let's go from the first, since it's not that far back and it gives us a couple days. Is it gonna take them both to it? Yes. Okay. All right. So same thing. I'm looking for an anchor time. So you're on the 5 minute in this case. You can go to the 1 hour, 4 hour, something like that. Okay. On the hourly, again, we're going bullish. We're coming down into the internal low. It has touched the internal low right now. It's coming down with violence, so I feel like it might liquidate that. And as for me, I like the strong liquidity. So I'm looking for potential bearish, but um, ideally, I want to see a flip, a liquidation flip. Same as what we were just looking at actually on, um, was it USD CAD? It's kind of the same
Hmm.
concept. I'm looking for, it's down into a zone where I would look for strong liquidity to be taken. So actually we have, no, not strong liquidity yet. Let's go ahead and just play it out. So that's what I'm looking for. Or strong liquidity in the bearish variety, but I'd be looking for small targets, just 5 minute low targets and stuff like that. Continuations, basically. So same thing. And you do have kind of one right here. It comes up into the supply. It liquidates, doesn't liquidate that, but it liquidates this area right here. And this is the zone that kind of liquidates it right here. It closes below that. The zone that caused it does hold. And then again, I would only target 5 minute lows. The reason why I'd only target 5 minute lows is looking back on the hourly range. Uh, this is where it could pick up steam and go bullish. And you don't want to be fighting against the trend, right? That's very dangerous. And you can see it losing steam right here. So I would just be targeting 5 minute lows. But you do technically have a first entry right here. Let's look at that same exact thing on GU. Liquidation, technically in this case, an even better looking liquidation than over here. And then the zone that causes that liquidation. Let's see, did this go above it? Nope. So this is the zone that caused it. It closes below it right there. It does not come back up and visit the zone though. So you get a non-entry technically on GU until, yeah, just a non-entry over here. So, okay, that was just the first little example. Let's look for I personally would like to see a bullish trade at this point. Okay, so here we have some strong liquidity formed on both. I'm trying to watch them both. Sorry, it's hard to watch two markets together at speed.
Isn't it? Usually I'm watching these at like super slow mo, kind of like
Yeah.
day by day, and it's hard to go through on especially on a 5 minute as well.
Yes. All right, so we have a liquidation
Here
on
we go.
G and on E. Now we have a stronger liquidation on GU, which I like better. I mean, this is a nice
Yeah,
chunk
this is
move.
why I
Yeah, so
yeah
this tells me that the buyers that we're holding here are liquidated, and so if the market flips bullish from here, that's a better sign than technically this one. Although similar concept, we have strong liquidation leading into demand. I do like that. It's just that the absolute liquidation means that you're joining after the liquidation. So if it's going bullish, it's going bullish. Does that make sense?
yeah
Again, same concept. It's just this is looks a little better. And then look, point of liquidation is right there, already closed above that. So right now we are good to go. This is a zone that should hold. For those conservative traders, you can use the little leg right there, but that's okay. And then here, the liquidation, we have not even closed above the point of liquidation yet. So technically, we're valid to be in the market literally now on this one, not yet on this one. and it's still held. That zone is holding. Look, it did not liquidate the zone yet. And here we had our closure finally, and then you got your entry. So you got a later entry over here on EU. On GU, you're already in the market. It might have scared you, but you're in the market still. And point of liquidation. So, okay, I hate saying stuff like this because we don't know, and I don't think that the market's been like we don't know where it's going to go. I don't think it's done this yet. But this is the type of trade that if you can get in on this extreme low and you're really comfortable with peeling off position size on the way up, technically, this is the type of move that I feel comfortable starting to peel position off and like going for the 1 hour structures, basically, right? And like I said, you want to be careful and peel off positions. So let me put some buys the way that we entered the market, liquidated, closed above it, we entered. This was our little zone. Okay, and I don't know where my target's gonna be. Let's just say we're gonna because we're at big targets like this, I like to active manage. But let's go ahead and play this out just to see if it goes up that high. Ooh, nope. Okay, that's okay. Um, you do have a nice reward if you are targeting the time frames liquidity though, right? This one gives you a nice fiver, and this one doesn't doesn't make it. This one doesn't make it. So this one doesn't make it. This one gives you a fiver. So not only do we have a more beautiful entry, and by the way, this is why I like an entry like that, because it tells me that this zone, if it's going to go bullish, is safe for the liquidity of that zone. This one didn't really have the same confidence level for this reason, even though they're similar markets. You guys see it did not come back up. And oh wait, oh, am I looking at it right? Yeah, no, this one completely came up and took this stuff out, and this one did not. So.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going. One more example. Oh wait, where are we at in the hourly? So now we got to reevaluate the hourly. Um, GU was the winner in that case by far, 5R versus a loss maybe or a break even. So here we're bearish until we come probably down into this zone, similar into this zone maybe here, which would be let's see. Oh yeah, this zone right here, somewhere in this area basically. I would be thinking bearish too on the 5 minute. So I want to look
So
for,
thank you so much. It's how I read it, and I'm currently on a buy on EU. Oh, good luck. Good luck, Pat. Yeah, I think
nice.
you're getting to the sort of price action now that I think that although they both look pretty good, but I just think GU's looking better
Yeah,
from
okay,
a price
so
action standpoint.
look, so we have a liquidation right here, all right, which also happens here. Okay, so let's look. Closure below the point of liquidation happens. Point of liquidation happened here. So the closure happened in this candle. So this area is likely to hold. Did it come back up? It's coming up right now to maybe visit that area. Also, there's liquidity resting here, which kind of makes it even stronger. This one. Liquidation point closes below it there. Hasn't come back up and visited it yet. Let's see if this is any kind of opportunity. Okay, so it's in that area on GU, but not on EU. Oh, and it takes that area out. Oh, wait, yeah. Or has it? No. Nope, it hasn't taken the area out. Yes, it has. Okay. Takes the area out for this one. Also, let me see if we're somewhere we can go bullish, because we're still, I mean, this is still, as it comes down to these lows, uh, look at that, liquidated this stuff. Oh, this is nice, right? And it looks like it's closed above the liquidation point. And over here, we have our last point of liquidity is not there. I guess this area right here, so it'd have to close above there. So this is already kind of gone bullish. So GU is like ready to go bullish at this point, in my opinion. So strong liquidity. Let's go and play this. Strong liquidity gets taken right here. Flips above it, but there's not really an entry there. Technically, 5 minute needs a strong liquidity to reset it because it hasn't gone bullish yet on the higher time frame. Anyway, hopefully you get the concept. And yeah, it was nice to look at them side by side. GU is a lot smoother when it comes to the way I look at the markets. All right, so we have a sweep into this zone right here, and the area that caused the sweep was the last point of liquidity right there. So boom, and then there. It's actually right here technically because it's got to be the wick that is above it. So there's that point of liquidity. Did any strong liquidity sweep happen here? Yeah, we have this. Right, market's gone bullish pretty much now. Strong liquidity sweep. The flip hasn't flipped and closed above it yet on either. And this is why you wait for the flip and closure. So for those that get scared when the market is going in a direction and everything else is checked out, the reason why I wait for the closure is because it shows me that the market is convicted to do what I think it's going to do. Even then, I'm still wrong. But if you don't add that conviction, then every time the market goes bullish in an area that you're interested in, you're going to enter the market and get killed. And you don't want to do that. That's a lot of losses you will expose yourself to because look, the market reacts at every zone. Look, boom, it reacted here, it reacted here. Here's a new zone. Look, it's reacting. It's going to react everywhere. So if you get in on every reaction, you're going to get hurt. And that's why I wait for that
Mhm.
conviction. So anyway, okay, does that make sense? Where concepts there. Here we have liquidation, markets flipped on GU right here, and then came back and visited the zone. So we'd be in here, liquidation, and flipped, came back up and visited the zone. So right now we're both in some longs. Oh, and you get taken. All right, no, this one's maybe holding depending on your stop loss. This one you're out. So again, GU looks like maybe the winner if this plays out to the liquidity point. Yep, it did. Okay, so again, GU, another winner. EU, I mean, you have to take the second entry on the liquidation of it, and you would have a winner, but you have a loss that GU didn't have, right? So,
Mhm.
I mean, this is like what 4 out of 4 that GU had looking better so far, something like that. I'm not trying to recommend against EU using this system. It does work. It's just if
Yeah.
there's similar markets and if you want to use a system, we have noticed both of us oftentimes. Again, I haven't. Well, I've tested it in that my active trading had gotten better switching to GU, but um, I haven't like went through and got specific stats specifically on EU versus GU at specific times to prove one is better than the other. But we very often notice that GU has been a lot smoother in liquidity sweeps and stuff. So take a look at it basically is what I'm saying. Okay. Well, that was a lot of we got the price action stuff done. We got the live trade part done.
We'll call it for another week for the mindset.
Yeah.
Although I will uh, leave on a tiny bit of knowledge in regards to. I just wanted to ask people in regards to accountability partners. Do you have one? And if so, do you use them often? Because when it comes to habit creations, when you have the initial thought about getting a habit, there's a 10% likelihood of success if you just go on that thought and loss and then just hope for the best and hope that everything will work out. If you plan with timetables, deadlines, and whatnot, there's a 40% chance. But did you know that if you have a commitment to another person, there is a 65% chance? This is just on data that I've collected off AI. So, by the way, this is all AI stuff, not my own data analysis. A 60% chance of succeeding with your habits. And the most likelihood of succeeding with your habits if you schedule accountability appointments with your accountability buddy to come back and set your goals each week, and that goes all the way up to 90%. And yeah, we'll leave
I
it at that. Possibly
I
we'll visit that next week. Um,
I can
thank you all.
I can see
Oh.
that because I get when I feel like I'm not gonna do my workouts for the day, I think, what is December gonna look like when Lemons asks me if I've been doing my workouts? My body is not showing results. There's
Do you
no
know
way.
what? I was not gonna call you out. I was thinking about asking you because in the start of this year, I asked you regularly, but the last 2 weeks, I have not asked you once. So how have they
I
been going in the last 2 weeks?
Well, I've been worried you were going to ask me, so I have been doing them every day. I skipped one day, but then
Oh,
I
okay,
I
good.
gave up my rest day for it and made up for it, which kept me on
Oh,
momentum.
good, good.
So yes, I have been doing
That
good.
is another thing. The appearance of being watched also increases your habit
Yes,
creation.
yeah,
You know.
it definitely does. I like it though.
Hmm.
It's definitely keeping me uh on my P's and Q's, to keeping up because I will feel like there's no one around. No one, I could just not do it today. But I'm like, if I keep doing that, just like your account will show those kind of results, my body will definitely show that at the end of the year, and I can't fake that. So yeah, I can't wait to see the actual results though, because it's gonna be nice. It'll be the first time in ever maybe that I've actually spent the whole year working out. I do get lazy and drop off when I start sometimes.
Oh, I'm gonna make sure it happens. Don't
Nice.
you worry.
I'm on
Yeah.
board. Does anyone have? Oh, I did say so. Pat said that he. Um, okay, we expect you to look like Arnold. I'm not gonna go that big, but yes,
Maybe Arnold 40 years ago,
yeah,
not
right.
current Arnold.
Yeah, not current Arnold. What a goal. I did say I would take a look at your current trade. Now, this won't be financial advice of any kind, but just for fun, little ending, we can take a look if you would like to tell me what time you entered, and I'll just look at it from my frame of reference and not, again, don't take it anyway. If you're already in, um, I will say we did have a liquidity sweep here. We're live? Yeah, we're in live price action. So we had a liquidity sweep here. The market has flipped since then, right? Closed above the flip zone. Let me see. Let's take a look at exactly when the lowest sweep happened. Lowest point of liquidity
Did
is
you
right
get in
here.
today, Pat, or was this earlier this week?
Oh, are you in a longer time frame trade? Yeah, that makes sense. If I were, is Pat the one that does really fast time frames? Okay.
Uh,
So 28.
10:28 GTM, I guess today. Let's.
Uh, 10:20. It's currently 9:06. So 10:28 was 10:28 is when? Wait, so we're talking
10:28
11
GTM.
hours? 11 hours ago? Am I getting this correct? I meant though, so you said you were in a buy right now. I was just trying to see if we can analyze it basically, but that's okay. That's all right. No worries. Almost an hour ago. Okay. I got the wrong time, I guess, when I looked it up. Okay. So almost an hour ago. Okay, perfect. That gives me a time frame. Let's take a look. So almost an hour ago.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, I mean,
So we're right around
it's
here. Oh, okay, so my assumption is that you saw a sweep of this liquidity, and we had the closure above the liquidation point or whatever, and you took that buy. Is that my assumption here? It's a valid systematically, right? It checks all the boxes. If so, let me take a look at it on my time frames. Mm, I mean, you're at a zone that I'm comfortable with buys. Okay. It is bullish on the 5 minute, but I'm nervous about this buildup of liquidity here, sweep in either direction. I do think because of this buildup of liquidity, this specific liquidity zone might have been aggressive, but it's valid. It is strong liquidity. It swept it. We have a closure above it. The zone did hold anyway when you entered, so it makes sense. It did, however, target the liquidity already here. So if you're coming in and you looking at it, revisiting the stuff, it's already done its job and took that liquidity, and it's used that liquidity. So here's the story I often ask: what did it use the liquidity for? Well, it liquidated this, and what did it immediately do? Closed below the point of liquidation, right? And now it's come back up into the zone that caused that closure. Actually, right here, it's even liquidating it a little bit. But this zone that caused the closure, it's coming back up and visiting it. So that's how I look at this total story right here and would be wary of that move as it comes back down in here. But other than that, it does make sense. I think it was valid enough, a valid enough setup. Timing
Yeah.
was late, but it was valid. And it might still hold. I mean, just because as I'm telling this story, we now see it coming down. I can't control the market, and this could hold. Or so don't be afraid. But I am personally looking
Yeah.
at it as a fill of this bearish move, which means
I
a
mean,
sweep of this.
the sort of closely paired uh, pairs to EU are all kind of going in that kind of general direction as well. This is just consolidating a little
Let's
bit. I would probably
let's
say
look.
that you're going to be okay. Where
Oh,
where did you have your stop loss, Pat?
yeah. Where is your stop loss? Let's go back and look at that. Looking at GU gave me some hope because GU looks like it's in a bullish position right now. So I
Yeah.
have hope for you
So
yet.
GU and AU are both looking more bullish than EU for sure. You've definitely picked a pair that's consolidating over the other two, but I still think that
Yeah,
you might
looking
be okay.
at the as we were looking earlier at the comparisons of GU and EU, if you look, GU has already pulled back and filled this and just going up. I mean, it left this liquidity resting right here, which yes, that could have been a sweep, but that was a strong closure and then created
One,
a wick, and now it's
six,
going to visit
two,
that
two,
wick. I
three.
mean, that's a good sign with this kind of lagging market here that
Okay.
you got a chance. So remember how off sync they were before though. So just because it's going up on GU to violate this wicket, just yeah. I don't know. EU is messy, but I do think that looks good, man. I think you might be in an okay buy, honestly, just looking at price action. I wouldn't try to scare you out of
Yeah,
the
you've
market
got
or
his stop losses is pretty much right under maybe a pip below the low at the moment. So
oh, okay. So K-Man probably scared you a little bit. Your stop losses in this area. Were you using like so liquidity of here, so some kind of range distance from here for your stop loss, or was it just breathing room under this wick? And luckily, it hasn't violated that breathing room. Good. Either way,
I think
you made some
I think
logical.
it's like underneath the impulse candle. I think is where it is.
Okay, okay. That's a great stop loss if you mean this one over here.
Yeah,
Um, that's a great stop loss for the concept that you have. So, all in
yeah.
all, your trade idea was like an A minus. It was great. The only uh, caveat I have to it looking at this price action is you did do it at the very top of a bullish move with not a lot of range right from that stop loss to get some reward enough for me to like risk bullish here right now.
Well,
Like,
on a 1-to-1 RE, 10 pips.
but you got a good little concept right there, right? We had the liquidity. Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, I'll give you an A minus, man. That was not a bad trade. I don't dislike your trade idea, even if it doesn't play out, or even if it does, I wouldn't. Yeah, my opinion doesn't change either way. I think that's a fine trade idea. I don't mind it. Um, anyway, okay, yeah. Any other questions or comments, guys? We'll cut it off and we'll start with mindset. I started with the trading this week because I wanted to, while it's fresh on my mind, cover the losses because drawdown's normal. I mean, I did obviously we saw an off-edge trade, but it's okay. I'm in a little bit of drawdown. It's normal, and I'm gonna live through it, and you guys will when you're in drawdown too. So it's okay. I just want you guys to see that even traders or whatever you guys want to call me, go through drawdown sometimes too, and it happens, and it's okay. I'm not tripping about it. We'll
Even
see.
Jezza, the Blue Ranger.
We will see what next week looks like. Since I've been a little more aggressive trading, I might catch wins this time. So we'll see. Stick to my system. Okay, boom, boom, boom. In place to pull for thanks for the analysis. Very much appreciated. I'll work on entry. Really appreciate it, gents. Yeah, like I said, I don't think your entry's horrible. Just late in the trend is all. You gotta be careful of that kind of stuff. Um, I like
Yeah,
to.
you've I don't know.
I
You
know I.
said 28.
What's that?
No, I'm just. Oh, I see where you entered. Yeah, it's Did you just get a bit really bad spread with your entry? I guess.
Oh, do you do market entries? Do you like see the market get into your level and then like watch it do a thing and then enter? 1028. 320.
You got some real bad. I think you got some real bad spread on your entry. That's where you entered with a 10 pip stop loss.
28. So right in here. So, huh. Okay, so what was the closure? This must have been the closure for you. You were seeing this the closure. Come back to visit this zone. Dang. Yeah, and your stop loss
Yeah,
is
get
down
a
here.
new broker. That's my advice.
Holy moly. Yeah, that's okay. But anyway, yeah, that is. I look for support resistance, then at the stock RSI for possible candle shift. Okay, right on, right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're
All
good
right.
today. We covered
Yep.
a lot of good little price action stuff. Drawdown is normal. I pushed it a little bit, and that's okay. Or low risk mitigates that. So see, even though I made a bad trading decision, my relatively low risk didn't affect my account much. And yeah,
Mhm.
hope
And you're
you.
still working out every day, so that's the main thing.
Yeah, that is the main thing. Uh, Hope you guys learned something today. Let me see. Did I miss anything on Discord?
Yeah.
Nope. Okay. Alrighty, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and call it.
Yep. You guys have a good one. Safe trading.
See you next time.